Well, hey guys, checking back in. Thank you again so much for agreeing to put yourself in a position to be used powerfully by God in the lives of other people. We cannot wait to see all of the good fruit that's going to come out of your work as a core group leader. Today, I want to talk about what really may be one of the most important things for us to get right in order for you to have some longevity in serving well in this role. We want to talk about what does it look like to take care of yourself and to care for your own soul when you are functioning in this role. So to get started, what I want you to do is imagine your life as a cup, if you will. And all of us have to do stuff every day that fills that cup up. It might be for you going on a long hike or a bike ride. It could be reading a good book, talking to a friend, or just taking a nap. And we all have things in our lives that have the opposite effect. In all of our lives, we have stuff that it empties our cup. Those could be things like deadlines and diapers, having jobs you have to do that you just don't want to do, but it's part of it, paying bills, right? Nobody likes that. Not only does that drain your emotional cup, it drains your financial cup too. We have these two things in our life, things that fill us and things that empty us. And here is something that ends up being a fairly universal truth. Really leaning in and caring well for another person does take something out of our cup. There's a draining aspect to that. And in order to sustain yourself in this role, it is so vitally important that you be taking the steps to make sure that your cup is getting filled. And specifically, I want to talk about how do we do that spiritually? Because when you're leading a group of people, helping them to grow spiritually, that will take something out of you. So in this role, having real regularity in your personal time with Jesus is going to be so important. Spending time reading the Bible, spending time in prayer, spending time doing the things and talking to the people who help you feel connected and rooted in that relationship is important. Because when you're doing that well, your cup begins to overflow. And you're then able to lead your group out of that overflow rather than out of the last couple of drops that you have left. That is not a place that you want to be. It's not a place where great leadership happens. And it's not a place where you feel like you really are living your best life. We want your function in this role to make your life better, and we believe it will. But if you're not careful to make sure that you are maintaining your own spiritual cup, keeping it full, it's not going to feel that way, and it's going to go in an opposite direction. So as you're doing it, here's what I want you to keep in mind. These two words, wisdom and discernment. Because here's the truth. You are going to be coming up against things that you won't always know immediately what to do, but a lot of them you can kind of figure out. But if it's always you just like putting your nose down and grinding it out, those things will start to feel burdensome. What we want to do is spend a lot of time asking God, give me wisdom to know what should happen next in this group. And when you come up against things that you don't know what to do, you say, God, give me discernment. Help me to know what is the best way for me to respond. How do I move forward? What's the best question for me to ask? How long should I sit in this silence? Silence is always your friend in a core group to let that happen. Because the truth is, if you ask God for help while doing the things that God has called you to do, you can count on God to show up and provide it. And when that happens, confronting these tasks that we come up against in our job, it stops being burdensome and it starts feeling easy and free and light. It makes our life feel full and rich as we get to experience God's partnership, coming in alongside us, helping us to fulfill this role. So let me read this one verse to you as we get ready to wrap this one up. This comes from 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 6 through 9. So humble yourselves under the mighty power of God, and at the right time he will lift you up in honor. Give all your worries and cares to God, for he cares about you. Stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. Remember that your family of believers all over the world is going through the same kind of suffering you are. Guys, there is a very real spiritual battle in this world. And when we decide to come alongside what God is already doing in the lives and hearts of other people and to be a part of that process, we can only expect for that battle to pick up. It's so important, guys, to be leaning hard into your own connection with Jesus. But in those moments where it still feels hard, where it still doesn't feel right, that's why you have coaches. That's why we have other leaders. Let's lean on each other, guys. Let's be a team and make this happen. Because my prayer for you is that stepping into this role becomes one of the best things you've ever done in your life. And I have every reason to believe that the Holy Spirit is going to come alongside us and make that true. Thank you so much for everything you're doing, guys.